Hey everyone, it's Natalie here, the Posh Pigeon, and we have a lot to unpack today. And so I'm not in my usual setting, but I really wanted to just get this video out because I think it's really important. Some of the things I'm going to talk about, and I think a lot of you can relate to this right now. So let's first dive into my October numbers because I didn't do that video, and then now we just ended November, so I kind of wanted to share that. So my October numbers, total sales were $4,338. Total net profit was $3,410. Average sales price on Poshmark was $34. Average sales price on eBay is $51. My current end of month inventory is 354 after listing 160 items. And cash basis expenses for the month was $1,128. So my total take home income cash basis, I am not doing just cost of goods. My cost of goods was around like $650. But of course, I'm spending money to buy more inventory. And so my net profit was $2,040 for October. Sell-through rate was 63% year to date, which was up 10% from the previous month, which is fantastic. However, then, about 6 weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago, like my closet kind of went to a screeching halt, and I had to really realize what was happening. What happened? The season changed. I have a lot of summer items, summer shoes, things that you wear during the summer that people buy to go to weddings, stuff like that. And all the sweaters I had picked up over the last 6 months when I saw them, thankfully I did pick up some sweaters. They had all sold. I realized I had I had started out with like basically 3 boxes. By the end of October, I was down to like a box. I realized I'd sold 2 boxes of sweaters, and I had no plan to get more sweaters. And everything that I seem to sell right now, I would guess it's like over 50% of my sales are actually sweaters or long sleeve tops. Yeah, even as I'm just scrolling through how many long sleeve tops and sweaters I've just sold, for sure, it's like every other item. So I live in the South. Not easy to come by sweaters. Like, I just can't go to a thrift store and be like, hey, I'm gonna buy $100 worth of sweaters that are cool. Not happening. The other thing that changed is live started. Now, I have a lot of opinion on lives, but the reality of the situation is if you're facing slowdown and you're not doing a live, you may want to consider signing up for the lives, because me doing a couple lives definitely helped boost my sales up. For November, if I wouldn't have done those lives, like I would probably be down $700, $800 in sales for the month, which would have been worse than my second month basically of reselling. So you have to consider that you might need to start pivoting with what's happening with the lives. Nobody knows how long this run is going to last, but I can guarantee you a lot of people are feeling kind of the burn of the lives, and like there's just not as much activity in their closet because people are on the lives. The other thing that happened in November is I realized I was watching a lot of lives. There's a lot of people who buy a lot of pallets and they start their items new with tags off at $3, $5, $10. Here's the thing. If you are used to picking up a sweater, like a Nordstrom brand used sweater, selling it for $20, $25 on Poshmark, that seems to no longer be a thing, because guess what's happening? People are buying those pallets and they are selling those on lives, new with tags, not used, for $10. So unless the sweater is unique or it has some sort of like style trend to it, your regular sweater probably is still sitting in your closet and not selling. Now, if you bring it to a live show, it has a higher probability of selling. However, I found people on lives don't really want to spend more than $30 on anything. And then again, if it's free people, definitely you can get more money for your sweaters depending on the type of sweater. But like your regular Nordstrom brand used sweater, like people are not even really bidding $10 or $12 for that sweater. Because again, they can go to a different show and get that same sweater. It's just a plain basic sweater, new with tags for $10. So with all of this, like there's a lot to unpack in November. Like so many things change. And I was part-time reseller, spending about 10 hours a week doing all of this. November, total wash. Like I had to learn quickly. I had to research quickly. I had to figure out what was happening and I had to adapt. And the season change did not help. And the fact that I was not prepared for that did not help. So I'm basically saying, okay, now I know for next year, like sweaters is a huge thing. And I need to start preparing basically in June for next fall. And I'm going to look online for good sales for cool sweaters. I'm going to look for lots potentially that are selling sweaters in summer and potentially purchase those. Those are some of the things how I'm going to pivot for next year. But as far as this year is concerned, it is what it is. It's a learning lesson. And I'm okay with that. Now for November, getting into my November numbers, let's just run through this. My sales ended up being 3,875, which is not that far off from October and September. Granted, all of the things that have changed, like I was like, holy cow, like somehow I managed to get close to the amount of sales that I'm used to making. So that was cool to see. However, my average sales price on Poshmark went down to $29, which is not surprising because there's a lot of aggressive offers I was sending to get average items out of my closet and just move them because I know they're not going to move now that you can go on any live at any given time and find basically an average item for cheaper. So I sent out pretty aggressive offers on that, trying to get stuff to move. But on eBay, my average sales price is $81. So the other things I started doing is I started picking up more designer items. And that specifically, like they seem to sell better and for more money on eBay. And so I'm headed in that direction. But I published 160 listings about, so that's the same as I did for November. My current inventory is 360. So my closet's not growing. I'm staying the same. My profits are the same. Everything has basically been the same for the last 3 months. So if you want to make $2,000 a month, you just need to recreate what I've taught you, and you would be golden with making $2,000 a month, having $4,000 in sales, and spending about $1,000 on that and reinvesting into more inventory. And give or take, some months it probably would go up. Honestly, your profits, if you're not trying to grow much or change the quality of your items and you're prepared for seasonal changes. But I want to grow. Like I do this for several reasons because it's kind of the lifestyle I live, like sustainable lifestyle. I'm on a plant-based diet. Like I naturally who I am and my morals and my my laws of living, I guess you could say, is more understanding the high level picture too. When I found out when I went to the bins in Wisconsin and I realized that all of this like great stuff that pretty much also was about to head to the landfill, and the amount of consumerism that happens at Goodwill is like astonishing. So like great items shouldn't be going to the landfill when somebody and is willing to rewear that beautiful item. But at the end of the day, we live in a world that relies on us making money to live, and so we want to make money. We have to make money to live, and I want to grow and make more money. And even though I don't rely on this money right now for my bills or anything like that, I hope to one day have that be a much more substantial, I can rely on it for other things. And so I want to grow, and I realize keeping my listings have basically been the same. My sell-through rate for the year is about 60%, which is great. My sell-through rate last month was 65% year to date. For the month, just the month, not year to date, was 72%. So I'm picking up the right items, and I'm doing the right activities to move those items. But my average sales price isn't going up, and my income isn't going up. So what do we all underestimate? We underestimate the amount of money you need to reinvest in order to grow and grow again. So it might go like this, right? And that is what I envision is happening right now. And so with the lives, I have to pivot. And what does that mean? Again, I am going more towards the designer side, because like Love Shack Fancy, they only create so many of their items, right? There's not an abundance of them. I can't just go buy a pallet of Love Shack Fancy. You can't even buy it like on sale at a reasonable, like there's just a limited amount of designer items, and so it's more in demand, and people are willing to pay more for that because they're not abundant. Where your Nordstrom sweaters, for example, like Leith or Abound or BP, like, yeah, you can go buy a pallet of that, and maybe it's just like a regular one color sweater and it's just a sweater. Well, yeah, somebody's selling that for $10. So I can't go to the thrift store, find that sweater, pay $6 for it, and expect to sell it for 20 or 25 anymore being used. It's just right now that's not happening. So you're either going to do what everybody else is doing to compete, even though I still scratch my head on profitability on that one, or you have to like start adapting your strategies, because the live definitely has thrown a wrench in a lot of people's plans. And then what is selling on the lives? Well, people love free people. So however you can find your free people, it seems like it's so weird, but everybody just loves to buy free people on lives. It's so interesting. So sourcing specifically for lives, sourcing specifically for closet, and aiming for $40+ profit per item, which means I have to pay up for all of that, and then preparing for the future. So I've reinvested like just $700 alone in like small lots of Lily Pulitzer, for example. That is going to probably start selling February through August next year. But if I find it now, like I'm gonna buy it and prepare for the future. So I basically took all of my profits for November and reinvested it. Not all, probably about $600 to $800, you know, is actually like taking profit per se, but majority of it, like over $2,000, I'm spending on paying up for designer items, preparing for the future, and then like just trying to catch up and find freaking sweaters. Like, who knew? But if you guys don't have a lot of sweaters in your closet, and like, I'm not just selling a regular sweater, like it has to be a J. Crew sweater that has some wool in it and has like some Fair Isle style to it. Or you know, I'm finding like cashmere sweaters potentially, but again, they're only selling for like $22 to $25, like Charter Club sweaters. So long sleeve tops too, but it's not like they're selling for oodles of money, and you still have to like pay $5 or $6 at the thrift store. So yeah, you have to kind of find the more unique items now if you want to move quickly. So I basically reinvested all my money into trying to find more stuff for this time of year, this season, and then invest for the future. And then I'm sourcing specifically just thinking about lives in a different light and understanding what things kind of sell for at different price points. And even though I'm just maybe doubling my money per se, like, can I move it quickly? Or if I find Patagonia at a decent price, I know I can move that quickly. Maybe I'm not quite doubling my money. Maybe I am, but I know it's going to sell less than 30 days. And so, well, I'll put it in a live and it will move within 30 days, get my money back and reinvest. So those are the type of things that I am thinking about right now. And I wanted to do this video real quick for you guys because just wanted to share my perspective. I'm obviously 6 months into this journey and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months into this journey. And yeah, I was not prepared for the seasonal change whatsoever. And again, if I wanted to just make $2,000 a month and, you know, spend $10 a week to make $2,000 a month, like that seriously would have been like, I would have been golden, pretty much. Like I have that down at this point, like what to do, but I want to get it to the next level. So wish me luck on December, even though again, some of the stuff I bought and I'm going to be buying may not necessarily be for this season. It may be for the summer season. So I'm preparing to reinvest a lot of my profits for the future. And I remember Mogi Best saying on one of her videos, like people underestimate the amount of money that they need to invest in order to grow. And that's kind of my big aha is, yeah, you do have to spend money to make money. And that's where I'm currently at. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please, of course, I'd appreciate a good thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. And I look forward to coming out with a video to kind of recap my last 6 months and things I've learned and diving maybe a little deeper into the live situation and all the changes that are happening. I mean, I've watched a lot of like other YouTube people, follow people on Instagram. By the way, if you're on Instagram, I'll put my Instagram handle below so we can connect there. I'm going to try to be more present on Instagram, but yeah, it does seem like majority of people's sales have gone down, but I do know people whose sales have been the best months ever. And guess what? They're being very strategic with their buying, and they're doing a lot of lives, and it's working. So hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you have a great day. And again, I would love to hear from any of you guys what's happening in your closet right now in the comments below, but we will talk again soon. Bye-bye.